thing now?
Yeah, you can. I was gonna do it. started. Crazy as it may be, we started out thinking about talking about preserving food, and that went out the window. Not that it really matters. I'm going to introduce everybody right now. We'll just get everybody in here. I don't care about any of that crap with introducing ourselves. Let's open up the forum.
I broke out the butterscotch beer.
There you go.
Nice.
Also, I actually came up with a title for that book there, Tommy. The new one.
Okay.
I know you didn't watch the show. You didn't watch the cartoon because the genre is not your cup of tea. I know it's not.
Well, it's probably fairly obscure to me.
Yes, it is. It's going to be very. So that's why I said you wouldn't have watched it, because you would have looked at it and went, ugh, so when's the good part? Because this sucks. And then turned it off. So I just threw out a random title for it. What do they call it? Something Phantom, I think. Zanvraken. Yeah, there we go. The Zanvraken Phantom. It's supposed to be a translation of my whatever fuck off language I came up with on my own. It's not like Tolkien and his actual languages that he can speak and write down, because I'm not that good.
Well, you know Tolkien was actually a linguist, right?
Yes, he went to college for that. Yes. I did
not.
not.
He was a PhD.
Yes.
Well, he was a teacher.
Well, the thing is, not only was he a PhD and a teacher, it's little known that he was actually a member of British military intelligence during the First World War.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, he and C.S. Lewis were very good friends in the trenches.
And a little secret that most people don't know when it comes to Lord of the Rings, he wrote that specifically to give a British national mythos.
Well, he wanted to build on the King Arthur and actually make it something that was...
He wanted to make it something that was akin to the Greek and Roman mythologies.
Yes, that was more its own, because King Arthur, that was Gaelic. So you had the Irish involved, you had the French Gaelic involved. Well, they're not the Gaelic, they were, what'd they call them?
Norman.
No, they weren't Norman.
No, not Gaul. That's
Gaul.
That's more...
Well, Gaul was
Gaul?
That was one of the tribes.
I think that was the region.
Yeah, yes. Gaul was a tribe and a region.
What's the term for those individuals? Oh shit, I can't remember.
I just know them as the Gauls.
I thought
failing. They were referenced as Gaelic as well.
Right.
But separated from
there's a name. There's a name.
Are you talking about tribe name, or just like a type of people, like breed of people kind of term?
Well, it was the peoples is what it was.
The thing is, there was multiple different versions, and I'm sorry, I did not mean to take us down that rabbit hole.
Oh no, this is perfect for our discussions tonight.
No, it's educational, huh?
Maybe Gallia, because
you've got Gallia.
Wiki. Gauls. The Gauls were a group of Celtic peoples, mainly in Europe.
Celtic. That's what I was looking for.
Celtic. Okay, Celts. So they're Celts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. I understand now.
And the Celts were so varied and so spread out and they were different in each region. Nobody will say it, but the Picts were Celt. The Picts.
Well, several of the Germanic tribes were also semi-Celtic as well.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, because the Celts went everywhere. When they spread out, when they dispersed, they went everywhere.
There's actually a theory floating around that the Bronze Age collapse, the sea peoples that raided elements of the Mediterranean, might have actually been Gaelic or Celtic in origin.
They probably were.
They were,
or at the very least, Proto-Gaelic.
Well, and so were the Lombardies that drove Rome into ruin.
I thought Lombardy was just known for an ice machine.
No, they were seafaring people. They were some of the greatest seafarers in the world at the time because there are theories out there that they actually, I think it's something to do with Carthage.
Well,
Some of the Carthaginians were able to make it to South America.
well, Carthage was based in South America, or not South America, North Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But yeah, I know what
the
you're
Carthage-
talking about. Now that you say it, I think I know what you're talking about.
The Carthaginians were in the northern part of the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was a Grecian colony that eventually got burned to the ground, but I don't remember the geography that thoroughly
Well,
at this point.
you're not wrong.
Carthage was destroyed after the Third Punic War.
Well, and the thing is, there's actually been like 4 or 5 cities named Carthage.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Third
it's
Punic War ended Carthage in
So
its entirety.
so it's really hard though to actually pin down which Carthage is the Carthage.
Right. Kind of like the Troy that we all know from Greek mythology.
I'm glad you
Yes,
said that
no,
and not the movie.
kind of.
Well, they think they know where Troy is.
Well, the
And-
thing,
I thought they found it.
the thing with with Troy from that particular war, there's only ever been one city known to actually carry that name in the ancient
Mhm.
world, and after it was destroyed, that name pretty much went extinct for
Right.
several millennia.
And it was for good reason.
Oh, I'm not going to deny that. I'm just saying.
Until somebody decided to name an entire brand. Oh, what?
I love it. That's perfect.
Well, that's not incorrect. That's
Nope.
probably why.
No, it's not.
A lot of people.
I
didn't
was
like
trying to
them.
keep the religion and ethnicity thing out of the conversation so you didn't get a strike from YouTube.
Oh, we're not going to get a strike. Nobody
YouTube
pays attention to
can
me.
Eat their own asshole with a spoon. In fact, they probably do.
Now, we might get a strike for that.
Yeah, Jackal, don't call out the YouTube underlords.
Underlords, ah.
St. Louis Arch, you've got no issue, man. Don't worry about it.
And honestly, I don't think they're going to say anything about the comments, but if we were to say it openly on the show, that's when I think they would have a problem.
Well, I'll follow along with Jackal, though. They can eat their own shit from a spoon from their own
they
ass.
can eat a bag of
I don't
dicks.
care.
Fuck 'em.
The whole
Mhm.
bag. Not just a bag, the whole bag.
The
whole
whole bag, yes.
They can eat the bag itself. It comes in a burlap bag usually. They can eat the burlap bag as fiber so they can pass the rest of what they just ate.
Speaking of bags, who has received a bag of dicks?
What?
You mean
Has
besides
anybody
Pop-
received a bag of dicks yet?
No.
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 We need to start sending out bags of dicks. And you know the ones I'm talking about, guys. They're the little gummy dicks.
Tommy,
Oh, those.
Tommy.
Okay.
when I eventually get a new 3D printer up and running, I'll get in contact with you. I have an evil idea. But I
Big
don't-
Angry Phil's here.
But I don't want to say it on an open
What
YouTube line. Nor do I want more than 2 people to know about this. You and Crusader.
What
That
up,
means
Phil?
that I'm a target.
No, you're not a target, but you might be implicated just because it's the idea I have is something that's so immature and so evil that you would have come up with it.
Okay.
Are you sure
calling
about
him
that?
immature?
I'm the young one. Is it because I'm the youngest one on the panel?
No, you are immature.
I'm
Damn it.
talking in the chronological sense of the word, Jackal.
Mm.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah, I know.
Besides,
I
you
do
know me.
smell
If I'm
like
going to
piss.
insult you, I'm going to insult you in a way that you know you're being insulted.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Mandalorian dude.
By the way, get a little closer to your mic there, Mr. Jackal.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the floor. I got my shipment of Legos came in, and I'm trying to organize them.
Oh God, this guy and his Legos.
They sell them
You know
for
what?
cheap. I literally get a whole bag of several hundred. I think I almost got 1,000 pieces in this latest shipment, and it was $170 without tax or shipping.
Damn.
Do you know how much beer I could brew for $170?
I
Quite a
don't
bit.
care. I
About
don't
20
care about
gallons.
beer. I don't need beer. I need Legos. Well, technically, I don't need them. What I do need is some animation software and maybe some time to learn how to use it, but that's expensive.
Are you wanting to do stop motion movies?
Mm-mm. I mean full animation.
Stop motion is full animation. It just takes forever to snap the photos.
Yes, yes, it is. That's why I never bothered with doing it.
Because what I was going to tell you is there's several apps that you can download onto a phone or a tablet that will actually help you facilitate that. I've used a couple of them, and they're not that hard or that bad to operate.
Hmm.
It's just a
That's-
matter of finding ones that do everything you're looking for. That's part of the reason why I haven't added anything more on my Rumble channel with stop motion. Because I can't
Wait,
get
bags of dicks on clearance?
Yeah,
Yikes.
in Hollywood.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. I think it's not just West Hollywood, it's all of Hollywood, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Big Angry Phil, I'm going to ask this question. Is that also the case in a certain capital city for a certain multi-state country? Just asking for a fiend.
A fiend. I think you're
See,
missing
I hate
an R
I hate the
there.
fact that both Blake and Jimmy mispronounce that every time I type it into one of my super chats.
Oh, okay.
Because what I've been doing when I've sent them stuff that's obviously a sarcastic, snarky question is I put in there asking for a fiend. They keep saying it as friend.
Right, because they're not.
They don't
actually
realize I'm
reading
literally
it.
using the word I want to use there.
Right. They're missing that the R is missing.
Yeah. Which is
Well,
almost turning into a joke in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's
it's a
alright.
joke until somebody breaks out the hard rigger.
Ooh. You know, there was a recent accident on a Disney set with a rigger.
Oh, really?
Oh
What,
yeah.
did
The
did
dude
a light?
died.
Oh, as in
Well-
a piece of the set fell and crushed someone, or
I think he fell off of a rigging.
oh, okay.
So
Literal rigger died.
hardcore rigger shit happens all the time.
Hardcore rigger
Well,
shit.
anyone who deals with parachutes knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like when your primary chute doesn't open,
Or your secondary.
or
And your secondary fails.
Just like when
Yes.
prop
That's
guns
when you-
accidentally go off that's got live rounds, right, Alec Baldwin? Oops, sorry.
All right.
Let's not go there.
Ginde. Is
Yeah.
that better?
I thought it was Gendai.
Gendai.
Is it Gundai? Or Gen?
Gendai.
Well,
Gendai?
Yeah, I thought it was
Dying.
Gendai.
Out of respect
Yes.
for the channel, yeah, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I hear crinkling of packaging. I hear crinkling. Is somebody eating chips again? Squirrel?
Mm-mm.
Uh-huh. He says with a mouthful of chips. Sunflower chips.
Like a squirrel with a bunch of nuts in its mouth.
Okay.
Perfectly timed. Perfect.
I'm gonna
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I am seriously tempted to see about getting some Legos that are actually articulated
Yeah.
or using one of the Mega Bloks Pokemon sets to do this. Make a squirrel and do a stop motion of it in a field of sunflowers, just picking
Oh,
the seeds
God.
out of the flowers and eating them.
Oh,
Oh
God.
well, I mean, I have pictures. Hold on, I have
Oh,
pictures.
God.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
You said a squirrel and surrounded by sunflowers.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
I think I have.
No,
that.
I'm
I
actually
could,
thinking about making this into a full-on stop motion video.
Well, let's see. Let me get in touch with Poster Bob here and get Sunflower's number. So I get you guys.
I can't tell if that squirrel is screaming in terror or in joy.
Or in pain.
Mhm.
Because
He's
somebody could.
orgasming. That squirrel is
Probably.
orgasming. I can tell you right now.
Well,
He's
the thing is, somebody could have stepped on its nuts.
Yeah.
And yes, I know that's a double entendre with this group. I don't care.
It's all good.
Okay.
The thing is, I've learned already, or over the last year or so with this group, anything that you say can be taken as the way it's intended, and then right to the gutter.
Turned around and slap you in the face.
With a big
Yeah.
black drinking straw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. I still think this one's the best.
That cat is tired of shit.
With a gold-plated AK-47.
Why do I
You-
get the feeling that I can hear that cat speaking in a Jamaican accent while running around in a car shooting that thing at people?
And
Yeah,
looking
okay.
for tuna.
Okay, fine.
Actually, here's something you guys might find funny, but tell me if you think this would work. If we ever get a group of the podcasters that are actually live and willing to go on camera together in a conference room with a circular table, have Pop basically dead center coordinating the shit show, and the rest just kind of around him, with Blake in there doing the button monkey thing. And every time somebody goes, "Hey, straw," everyone but Pop pulls one out and just chucks it.
No, Pop be like, "Oh, god damn it, not again!"
That would be a meeting of the minds, and it might cause a singularity event.
I would still pay to see it.
Oh, I would pay to be involved.
A singularity of it.
Yeah, you know what a singularity is, right?
Yes.
Fuck you, Buttpants.
Good picture of Evie, by the way.
I was gonna say, did you send that to Jackal Mando?
I think I actually posted that in Gilded a while back.
Oh God.
Yeah, you did, I think, because I remember you had a picture of Evie there in the back just giving you the, why are you looking at me? Go back to whatever you're doing. Leave me alone. Look.
Mhm.
Because that's what that is. That's the, what do you want, bitch? Look.
Yeah. Honestly,
I love cats.
Honestly, what I really need to do is see about getting a picture of her when she's actually doing her hunting type stuff, and another picture or a video of her. I mean, another video of her when she's having her Psycho Kitty modes. Then get with somebody who's better at doing videos than I am to stitch them together and make it look like Evie is actually hunting one of these idiot 304 politicians that we all love to rag on.
Ooh, here we go. The singularity of humanity and tech, or the hypothetical center of hypothetical black hole. Ooh.
Oh my God.
In this situation, is there a difference?
No.
Would it be a black hole or
Probably
would it
not.
be a butthole?
Well, in this situation, it would not be a butthole.
No, it
Mhm.
wouldn't. We all know Pop doesn't do the fourth point of contact.
No.
No, he does the tits holes, I think.
Well, he doesn't even do that. He just doesn't do anything with them anymore. He's done with them.
Yeah, because he's old.
No, it's because he's done with their bullshit.
He's done with their shit.
Uh-huh.
He has reached bullshit saturation.
I think we all have, to be honest.
Honestly.
Yes. That's why I don't play. And
Well-
I'm in my 20s. That's great.
I'm
Honest-
going to be completely honest. I woke up this morning, and there's one of the songs from the ukulele guy that Jimmy showed us a while back.
Oh, the guy from
Oh,
Hawaii?
no fucks to give.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. He's
He-
different.
Yeah, he has another song out that says this is shit.
Mm-hmm.
I literally woke up and was like, that song is my life right now.
That song, for some reason, sounds like it'd be on SpongeBob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Flip, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, if it was SpongeBob, it would be more like,
No, that's
I
not the
have no-
question being asked.
oh, I have no more Krabby Patties to give. Something stupid like that.
Okay. Tommy, you'll appreciate this and probably be offended.
All right. Welcome,
One of the
guys.
Hey,
Oh,
Oh,
J-Mo.
no.
What up, Jimmo?
One of the guys in my reclass class to get get MOSQ for OR Tech with the military
Mhm.
was Navy before he came over to the Army. He had no context for the SpongeBob TV show and
Mhm.
never understood why everyone called him Squidward.
He's got a big nose.
No, he had that character's personality.
Yeah.
Oh, that's worse.
And he was an E5.
Eh, uh-oh.
So, in other words, he was just a piece of shit, failed E4 Mafia.
He basically failed up.
Yeah.
And because
they,
he was
they promoted him to get him out of the way.
and because he was prior Navy, there was a running joke that he didn't quite do what his immediate supervisor wanted.
Mhm.
And rather than complain about it, they just promoted him to get him out of the AO.
Imagine
Yeah.
failing upwards. It's like falling up the stairs.
You've
It's
seen
a-
the video. You've seen the video. Biden proved that can be done.
It's
Yes.
a government thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Failing upwards is a government thing.
It's also present in academia.
Yep.
Shit. Apparently, you've never been drunk, Jackal, because I've fallen upstairs plenty.
No, I don't drink much at all.
JMO,
I reserve-
You're still young. Just wait for the depression to really hit.
Mhm.
It
JMO,
did when I was younger.
remind
What's
me
up,
one
man,
of
bro?
these days. Remind me one of these days when we're together on a backstage, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why I don't drink.
Okay.
I think there's still warrants out, which is why I will not mention it on a live stream.
Spoiler, he's mean.
Interesting.
That's-
On that
Apparently-
note,
Apparently, I'm a Tasmanian devil when I get drunk enough. Who
on
knew?
that note, I've
still,
got something to add.
Hold on.
All right.
Just because he mentioned it, I actually do have a standing warrant in Hutchinson, Kansas. I punched a cop in the nuts.
Oh, Jesus,
Oh,
dude.
heck yeah.
Oh,
J-Mo,
okay.
J-Mo.
Hold on. I went to high school with him, right? And this is 2016. It's probably gone now. But no, he pulled me out of a bar and was taking me home, and I was like, dude, you won't believe who I saw the other day. He's like, who? I was like, my Uncle Pat, and I whacked him right in the balls.
Hey, JMO.
And then I took off.
JMO. Geographically speaking, where is Hutchinson, Kansas in relation to Fort Riley, Kansas?
Jesus.
About how many hours away?
Probably about 4.
Okay, cool. It's not the place I was thinking of.
No, so
The,
basically it goes, it's Nickerson, Hutch, then Wichita.
there's a running joke on Fort Riley, at least in the unit that I was in, one of them,
Wichita?
that the cops in one of the towns in that region have no nuts.
Yeah, so hence, how long ago were you there? Because we need to start there.
I left there in 2015.
All right, so 2016 was when I was issued the warrant. 24, the guy had to have a testicle retrieval operation after I hit him. So there's probably a warrant and like 50 grand worth of medical bills I'm probably responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that doesn't negate the attempted joke I was trying to make there, JMO.
Oh, I know. But if it's the same guy, he probably doesn't have any anymore.
Well, okay. Again, I just know that there's one of the towns within about 3 hours of Riley that infantry soldiers from a certain unit, I'm not going to mention the one so I don't get in trouble.
Okay.
They're known to go there and raise Cain because the cops there refuse to do anything to even attempt to bring them into line.
Huh.
And the running joke in that in the battalion was, the cops in X town have no balls.
All right, so it's an hour and 52 minutes.
Okay, so that could very well be the town.
The close. All right, so hold on, let me go back to it. All right, so Fort Riley, you have Abilene, Salina, McPherson, then Hutch.
Yeah, it was probably Hutchinson.
Right by you. Yeah, oh, fuck it. He deserved it. So, did you guys?
I'm sorry,
cover...
you brought that up. And that memory popped into place.
Oh, no, you're good. So wait, did you guys already cover the whole Civil War thing?
Which one?
Oh, I don't know, the one that's never gonna happen.
Oh, that no. I kind of abandoned that idea. That is a good thing though, and if you want to put your piece out, put it out.
I mean, my biggest problem with this whole thing is, hold on, let me check the audience, shall I?
Well, and your audio is shit, by the way.
Again?
Yes.
You're gravelly as fuck, man.
You're gravelly and roboty.
Motherfucker. All right, hold on.
Dude, Jackal, quit that. Just don't.
Hey, JMO, let me put it this way. You sound like a lieutenant on a poorly maintained Singars.
Yeah, you sound like a lieutenant who's been bucking for captain.
Hey, don't talk about my platoon leader from Fort Hood.
All right, how's that? Is that any better?
It's getting better.
Okay.
Now it just sounds like you're gargling a bag of phallic objects.
Or glass, yeah.
Oh God.
Or glass. Oh
How
God.
about now?
Getting better. Still getting better.
Okay. So my whole problem when people bring up the Civil War and shit, and I know as much as you guys love Pop and Blake, unfortunately he's guilty of it too. So one of his streams actually made me quit watching him.
Mm-hmm.
It was this whole Civil War thing, and he promoted this company to sell you a first aid and survival kit.
Mm.
And basically begged his viewers to buy it. That's when I quit watching him, because unfortunately when you start talking about crap like this, it's these no nut, no real intelligent people who sell you these survival kits and tell you it's going to save your life in case of a civil war.
I have never seen Pop try to hawk any kind of product on his show.
Yeah, I don't remember any
How long
time.
have you been watching Pop? Because this is like
at least 7 years.
Yeah,
I don't remember him hawking any product ever except his own
he
merch.
didn't hawk it. He didn't hawk it. He just promoted it.
Yeah, I don't even remember him doing that. He's turned
Mm.
down a lot of sponsorships.
Oh,
I
know
don't
he
recall
has.
him ever saying that any one product is the GOAT. Now he'll talk about firearms like that on a regular basis.
Well,
No,
and that's
so
usually
he
in
didn't- It wasn't really a promotion. It was more or less like, hey, in case you're ever stuck in a shitty situation, these guys sell a survival kit. But it was during the same thing about the Civil War talk. He didn't really plug it as much as he just mentioned it, if that makes sense. But that's the thing that bugs me about the whole trend of the Civil War thing is you're going to see. It's kind of like when you meet the Doomsday Preppers.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, my uncle was one of them for years. He bought 480 pounds of beads. So, I mean, the shitty thing when it comes to the whole Civil War thing is there's going to be so many gullible people because, unfortunately, the United States is the worst country to live in for mass hysteria.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not going to happen. First off, too many civilians have guns and don't want to deal with bullshit. So,
Well, and
I mean, the
yeah,
argument could in there.
This is one of the things that I was thinking last night when I was wanting to address this was the fact that nobody's going to put up with shit anymore. They're done.
No.
There's too many of us that have very large coffers of ammunition. They may be small arms, but those small arms will do big damage.
Right.
I hope it doesn't reach that point.
It won't.
But my point was with that whole discussion point that I was thinking of last night was we're not there. We won't ever be there. This is never going to be 1861 again.
No.
What we are going to see is a collapse of society, and we will start having the Mad Max issues.
But you see, even that's really kind of a stretch, and the biggest issue why that's a stretch is because the military is so much more built up now. So,
well, they're not though, dude. They're not built up.
No,
they're tiny.
No, and they've lost so much confidence amongst their the recruitable pool of applicants that they have failed for what? Almost 2 years to meet goals.
The U.S. military right now sits at 1.2 million soldiers. That's the most since 2005.
I think it was World War II.
Well, hang on. Let's just point something out here. Last week, I went and called up the promotion point sheets for last month, this month, and the same 2 months last year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And those numbers were appallingly low for the Army promotions.
Yes.
And we were all openly speculating, are they getting ready to go to war in Ukraine, or are they just trying to backfill because they've lost so many qualified people?
Mm-hmm.
It could be both.
I was going to say,
when promotion points for E5 are lower than, or if promotion points to make E5 sergeant for support occupation specialties is lower than the infantry's.
Yeah, that's a dangerous sign.
All right.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, there's 2.74 million U.S. military personnel.
Is that combined with active and reserves?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
in my opinion, go ahead.
So anyone who's ever been on riot control ever in the military, I was on it in L.A. I can't remember the military term for it.
You were on riot control in L.A. as an active duty Marine.
Huh? Well, I kind of just went there for cops.
Okay, so you were a civilian supporter at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what do they call that shit when when the U.S. government issues a curfew and they send troops, what the fuck is that called? Why can I not
Martial
remember?
law?
That's
Yeah,
martial
there you
law.
go. So the big issue with any civil revolt is once they declare martial law, just because you had to go through the classes for it. So I only have to warn you once before I can shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
JMO, I'm gonna point something out here. In order for them to use federal troops in the capacity you're describing, would take an act of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time it gets to that point where they're actually talking about removing posse comitatus, we will have balkanized.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, this country, the most realistic situation I can see as far as an apocalypse or end of the country, this country's not going to stop.
No.
It's gonna reform. It's gonna change into a different form. Look at how many other countries owns this nation over here. At least owns property over here.
Far too many.
This is going to be turned into a third world country, but still be active in what it's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to end. It's not going to stop. You're going to see basically China's blueprint for the what's it called, social credit score.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen.
They're going to try to make that happen.
Right.
It won't.
Right.
Well, he's got a valid point. This is the worst possible.
The
worst
government
possible
won't
scenario.
impose it. What the
They're
government
going
will
to try
do
to.
is sneakily ask the credit card and debit card companies to limit purchasing power.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to
Raise your
say
money.
we don't want your customers to be able to purchase ammo.
Yeah.
Because government is only sitting there asking, there are many other ways to do it. You could use cash. You could write a check.
Hell,
But
you could
they're
just
also
have
going to make it that they're going to make it so that cash and check use is so difficult to acquire.
Well, the other thing they're going to do is let me start over. The other thing people can do is they can have individuals that let's say you have a neighbor who you're good friends with, but you don't necessarily agree with everything that they say. That neighbor hasn't hypothetically shown up on any of those silly little checklists. You decide you want to go out deer hunting and you need another 50 rounds. Your credit card gets kicked back. You know exactly how much that 50 rounds is. You go to your neighbor and go, "Hey, can you pick me up 50 rounds, this box or this type of box of ammo? I will pick you up this item here."
See, what most people fail to realize is the actuality of how many other countries have vested property and interest in this country alone.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if you have an end of the world situation, if you have a nuclear bomb, that's not going to happen. We're not getting attacked over here. You've got too many other nations involved in this over here. They've got their hands in the cookie jar, so to speak. You'd have to go through a lot of nations just to get anything like that to happen over there. And then once it happened, if somebody was dumb enough to shoot a nuke over here, then you'd have multiple nations go after them. It's not going to happen. Yeah. You're not going to see nuclear warfare come over on this land.
No.
I'm going to slightly push back on that.
Okay.
Outlaw.
Yeah.
The thing with nuclear weapons, and I know I've mentioned this before, they're not what you use to fight a war. They're what you use to end a war.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which is what I'm saying.
Well, let me finish. I'm actually going somewhere here.
Go ahead.
If they decide, let's say China decides that they are feeling froggy, they'll pop off a device in a part of the country where it won't directly impact their investments.
Yeah.
But it will cause enough shock and horror on the populace that we don't want to keep fighting. Or it's going to do the exact opposite, and it's going to turn us into a group of savages that makes World War II look like a picnic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll.
But
galvanize
Well-
our resolve, or it will kowtow us.
But
It's-
China
it's-
will
Look what
never do
happened
that.
when the Twin Towers fell.
Mm-hmm.
At
It
most,
created a huge amount of people who never thought of them as patriots suddenly finding themselves as patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just use that as one random example.
No, but
I'm sure everyone here can come up with 15 others that could do the
Right.
exact same thing and have
Right.
very similar results.
see, like my personal opinion, despite what the media says, I think we've been allies with Russia and China forever. They just keep up these fights to keep it ongoing, so the public doesn't realize it. But the biggest issue with China would never attack us. One, we're like 92% of their entire country's income.
GDP. Yep.
So it doesn't matter. Russia, North Korea, it doesn't matter. If one country hits us with anything, China's going to take that as, oh, okay, so now you're fucking with our money.
yep.
Like, that's why North Korea popping off, yeah,
Well-
cool. They get weapons from from Russia, and then that's one thing or whatever. But that's why China's been threatening to attack Taiwan for fucking ever. They're never going to do it because they know once they don't have our money backing them, that country will go down the shitter so quickly.
JMO, you do know a
To be
lot
honest,
of
we should do that.
JMO, you do know a lot of American companies are moving from China to India
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of these companies are tired of China basically telling them you have to do this, this, and this.
You have to give us all of
Mhm.
your IP.
Yeah.
You have to show us
Well,
all the
I'm speaking
materials.
I'm speaking primarily of Hollywood when I'm talking about the do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's even worse than
Right.
that, guys.
'Cause-
Right.
So China, their economy is really hurting at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going along as though nothing's bothering them.
Mm-hmm.
But part of the reason they've been saber rattling so hard on Taiwan of late is the fact that they're trying to scare people into continuing to do business with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Tommy, how's the phrase go? If goods don't cross borders, armies will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's a
much.
pretty accurate
Well,
statement.
Look at what has caused most conflicts. It's not, the what they allege the Cassius Belli is supposed to be.
It's usually money.
It has to do with money, or it has to do with the flow of goods, trade,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah, which honestly, when we get a president, if we get a president with a sack back in the White House, the Houthis are going to get real quiet real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so will Hamas
Yeah.
and Hamas, I should say.
Did you call him
So-
hummus?
Hummus.
Yeah, I did.
I like
So-
hummus.
Yeah.
Like, even, let's say China got a wild hair up their ass and attacked us, right? If
Yeah.
any president worth his weight in gold, if I was president, I would say this. You know what? Just go ahead, China. Bring the war over here. You got to get here two ways, bud. Air and water. You're going to die in both.
Okay, JMO, they have enough military-age males over here from China that all they would have to do is send a transmission
Call
on
'em up.
shortwave radio, and they could cripple us within 5 minutes.
Mhm.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, no.
Yes.
Look
No,
at the
they
southern
could.
border, JMO.
All right, well, hold on. Don't start getting mad. I'm just saying that won't happen.
No,
No, these are straight facts that we're shooting you here.
All right, JMO, why do you think it's not going to happen?
Well, first off, and I'll always go back to my major insult. I'm not afraid of anybody I can blindfold with a dental floss.
Okay.
And secondly, it just goes back to straight up American populace. Cool, they could have 2 million little fucking rugrats running around here. We have over 200, almost 200 million civilians with fucking guns. So again, it's unimaginable.
Okay, what type of environment do you live in? Are you in a rural area or are you in a city?
I'm in a city.
Okay.
Mm.
Do you know the power supply for your city?
Yeah, it's diesel.
Where?
Not what I mean.
Where is it, and is it defendable?
Yeah. So we have, well, Colorado's different. We also
Well,
have
is it
NORAD.
secure?
Right. And you're not just on a diesel power supply. I know Colorado, you have a lot of hydroelectric.
Now, we're not even talking about the generation here.
Mm-hmm.
Every city has certain key points
Well, they've got
that
substations.
that if you hit those points,
Mm-hmm.
you knock out the power supply to that area.
Yep.
How many transformers do we make in this country per year?
I have no idea.
This is the scary part. It's in the hundreds.
How many do we need?
We need thousands.
Now, you have 5 guys with the equivalent of a 12-gauge shotgun,
Mm-hmm.
and you can literally cripple a city's power supply by popping a few of those substations.
Yep. And
Right, but they
to
have backup power. So,
It takes a long time for backup power to get hooked up.
exactly.
You're talking about a cascade failure effect.
Mm-hmm.
I
Look at Texas during the ice storm 2 years ago.
Or look back, I want to say 2018, the Northeast blackout. Because if I remember right, that was a Canadian substation that went down and took down a good chunk
Parts of
of the
New York.
East Coast.
And St. Louis Arch had a really good point right here.
Mm-hmm. So, but getting
And
back to the
long build time. Yep.
and getting back to the point that I was actually digging to get to, you can cripple a city by killing its power supply.
Mm-hmm.
If
Or
you do
poisoning
not have
its water.
electricity, you do not have water. If you do not have electricity, you do not have refrigeration. Yeah, we've got 200 million people with long-range hole punchers in this country. How many of them are in cities? How many of them are going to start panicking like crazy when they go to click on their phone? And yeah, their phone has power, but the tower that services their phone doesn't. You have kiddos, correct, JMO?
Yep.
You have a long-term blackout in your town that lasts for more than 5 hours.
Okay.
If they're at school, how are you going to get them?
They open the door.
Is the question I'm asking actually making sense?
Is how are you going to retrieve your children and put them in a place that is safe?
I start my car and go pick them up.
Right.
Okay. How bad's your traffic going to be when you have no power lights or lights to your
Yeah, because
stoplight
flow
or power to your
traffic is going to
stoplights?
stop. And
You're talking about the breakdown.
The school is
Walk
2
on
blocks
food.
away.
Well, then
on
you could
small
Okay,
walk.
so that's not bad. You can walk that.
Yeah.
Right.
But for the average citizen in your city, they're all going to be panicking about getting their family back together. They're going to be panicking about trying to figure out how to coordinate with everybody. It's not a simple thing in a city to get people hooked up after something goes insane. And I'm giving you a worst case nightmare scenario.
Mm-hmm.
This can happen. The scenario I'm giving you can actually happen with just a lightning storm.
Right. We had a drunk guy take out the transformer a few blocks away from here, and I mean completely take it out.
Mm-hmm. And
We
how
had
long did it
backup
take for
power in 45 minutes. So I say again,
you? Have that happen on 3 different transformers though, simultaneously.
but the time frame's not going to change. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
it
telling
will.
you. Systems have backup systems to support backup systems to support backup systems. Have a 12 gauge all you want. There's always something underneath.
JMO.
JMO is correct.
You're not,
backup systems, but when you take out a critical point in the circuit, that's where it all falls apart.
All right,
Mhm.
but then again, in the city I live in, we have NORAD. NORAD generates enough power to keep Colorado Springs going by itself.
Do you really think that that NORAD's going to power Colorado Springs?
Yeah, that's the other point. They're not going
Yes.
to power you. No.
No. There
Oh
has
my
been
God.
a executive order put out that all
hmm
military installations are to be independent of the grid
Mhm.
by 2025.
But they already are. They always have been. This is just a bullshit fucking congressional mandate.
The thing is,
NORAD has always been separate.
yeah, and the thing is they're
Not true.
they're not going if the
Yeah.
nightmare scenario I'm talking about occurs, they're not going to help the local city. They're going to be focused on making sure their stuff is up and running to make sure we're not about to get hit by something nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Arch is right. We've been waffling.
Yeah, we have been. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I did not mean to take us in this direction.
Yeah, let's get out of here. All right. Everybody reset. Let's do a pee break.
Are we gonna turn it off and turn it on again?
Let's get Archie here to hear what
I
he
think
has
we have
to
a pee
fucking
break
talk about.
somewhere.
Oh.
I think Outlaw can hook us up.
Or we could put more Cox on repeat.
Oh God.
I'd rather not.
Actually, what we need, what we all need to do is get with Blake and see about getting the different deep fakes that they have, and see if they'd be willing to let us use them.
Blake's. We need to get Blake's pee break. That's the one we need to get.
Honestly, the one I was thinking of was put singing pop on a loop.
Oh God, no.
Oh no, that's pain.
Then what I'll need is for Gendai to get a hold of me and shoot me the video for that pee break you guys were talking about, and then I'll have to upload it into the thing here, or Sean can do it. Don't matter.
Well, any of us can do it as long as
I
we
keep
got
forgetting
it.
Sean and
I don't have the admin capabilities with you,
Yeah.
Tommy.
Sean, Nate, myself, and Outlaw. We are the evil overlords.
And truth be told, I don't want admin privileges with your channel.
Well, I'm not going to bump any of us.
so
Well, my whole thing is I don't want admin privileges for any channel but my own, because I'm a klutz. I don't want to break something trying to do something.
No, well, we fuck shit up all the time.
Fucking shit up, man.
So, what do we think? We want the more calks. I could put that on.
Actually, you know what would be a
Can
good
anybody
one?
just play like a random song while we go on break? Like,
I can. Yeah.
Let's do
Greetings,
this.
I am Red Pill Rhino. Tonight I wish to discuss my inexhaustible love for the giant chunky squirrel booty. Watch as this majestic creature is tamed by this woman's loving hand. Look at this little fat ass being hand-fed by the unsuspecting morons. Next up, these are the 4 squirrels you can befriend. The eastern gray squirrel, Sciurus carolinensis, also known, particularly outside of North America, as simply the gray squirrel, is a tree squirrel in the genus Sciurus. The American red squirrel, Tamiascurus hudsonicus, is one of 3 species of tree squirrels currently classified in the genus Tamiascurus. Black squirrels are a melanistic subgroup of squirrels with black coloration on their fur. The phenomenon occurs with several species of squirrels. Chipmunks may be classified either as a single genus, Tamias, or as 3 genera. Tamias, of which the eastern chipmunk is the only living member. Eutamias, of which the Siberian chipmunk is the only living member. Here, I befriend a local squirrel. Watch as he eats my food that I laced with a little blue pill. I would like to take this opportunity to thank MGTOW Outlaw for introducing me to these wonderful rodents and ever doubting the existence of the thunder lizard. I will leave you with the ultimate fat boy squirrel, for he cannot be questioned, as the questions will reveal uncomfortable facts.
Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick, boy!
That's a thick ass boy. Damn.
Those are always a good way to mentally reset.
Gents, I gotta pop out real quick. I will be back.
All right, man.
I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but I'll be back. So, all right,
I'll
guys.
be back.
We'll be around.
Well,
All right,
most
brothers.
of us will be anyway.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, dude.
Yeah, sorry about going dark there, gentlemen. I really wasn't
No.
intending to.
No, this is off the cuff.
Worthy of discussing. I think we had a couple of areas we wanted to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we waffled on, for an hour is good enough.
Well, and now how do we want to redirect? Here, let's just piss everybody off tonight. Taylor Swift is back in the United States after her concert in Tokyo, so she can attend the Super Bowl. Fuck that cunt.
Joy.
So I don't know. I think she makes great music. So
Didn't Swift do the song "There Is No Arizona"?
I don't know. I don't know any of her library.
Everybody knows Arizona's not a real place.
Well, I would beg to differ because Razor Fist resides there.
Razor Fist is its
Allegedly.
own city in Utah. You're not going to get me with that one.
He's in Phoenix, you fuck.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Phoenix, Canada. God, get your territories right.
God, I
It's
wish
just
I had
like-
Razor Fist in here with us tonight because that would be
it's just-
hilarious.
It's just like what I was saying when I was down in Tampa Bay, Louisiana. So, yeah, Arizona doesn't exist.
Tampa Bay, Louisiana. All
Yeah.
right.
I'm just going to start changing cities just to combat with whatever anybody says.
So, Baton Rouge, Idaho? Is that what you're talking about?
Hey,
Oh,
Tommy,
come
we
on.
all know
Baton
we all know
Rouge is in New
Idaho.
York.
Uh-huh.
Idaho.
Yeah, get out and get to work. Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
We all know Baton Rouge is in Maine. You're not getting me with that one, buddy.
Baton Rouge is in Maine. And Portland is too, by the way.
Yes. Minnesota's a great white conspiracy. So
Okay.
God. Oh, that one's a good one.
It's a
I love
51st
Broken
hoe.
Pine.
The 51st hoe.
What?
Get in
okay,
here,
I,
Broken Pine.
You know what?
I
We'll
have
take
to
you.
ask that. I have to ask this question. When did we enter the SCP Foundation? Because I thought we were steering clear of the geek stuff tonight.
Oh, well. There will always be geek interlusions or
Nerd.
Yeah. In
That's
infarctions.
all right.
hey, I've been to SPC. That's just north of Timberland, isn't it? Right there on the Kansas border.
Could be.
Okay.
You know, JMO, if you ever go to Site 19 and you get released, let me know.
Speaking of science shit, guys, did you see that they're transferring the next stack at Starbase?
Really, I've never even heard of
Yes.
this.
Starbase is the Starship, Elon Musk,
Okay.
SpaceX. They are transferring the third launch vehicle.
Okay.
So the Super Heavy booster and Starship, the next iteration, are being transferred to the launch pad right now.
Okay.
Okay, so Elon's about to launch another load into space.
Yeah, and hopefully this one actually works.
Well,
and
with as
doesn't
rich as
blow
he
up in
is,
yeah,
orbit.
the last one exploded, didn't it?
Well,
No.
the first two did, and it's all. Everybody understand, please. This is iterative, as they call it, science. So they're working out the problems as they occur.
All I was going to point out is he's rich enough he can afford to blow as many loads as he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike our
And yes, I know that's a double entendre. No, I don't care.
No, and it's true. It's true. Yeah, and St. Louis Arch is right. They haven't got clearance yet.
Yeah, and with the number of problems they're currently having with the government, clearance is going to be a problem.
No, this thing is going to happen into the month or March. It
what
will
is he
happen.
doing? Is he just bringing up a piece of Starship to be assembled in space?
No, they are actually bringing up a fully functional launch vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
one that
is
can
going...
go up, come back down,
Yes.
get refueled, and go back up.
No, they're not there yet. They need to get everything worked out just to orbit first. This one
Okay,
is...
so this is the next stage for that big ship that he's wanting to use for his Mars mission, isn't it?
Yes. And this one is going to demonstrate refueling in space.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So they have to get this fucker into orbit.
You know what's sad? And I just want to point this out. If there was ever anybody in this world who could make a legitimate Star Destroyer and use it to control the world, unfortunately, it would be Elon Musk.
It would be.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is so fucking smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know this. Did you know that he's actually so intelligent that no regulated IQ test can actually measure how smart he is?
Broken Pine, don't bring that up.
Bring what up? Let me read it. Oh, it's in the comments. Hold on.
We're not going there. All right, we're
Why
not going there.
I know.
Yeah, let's steer clear of that one. It is still way too hot.
And there's too many retards in this group already. Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
I'm a high-functioning idiot, not a retard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I'm a high-functioning idiot.
JMO's a Marine. We all know that is a mental illness.
Hey, crayons are tasty. It's all good.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Just really quick, Mando, and I'm sorry to cut you off. So Marines eat crowns. Okay.
Crowns?
Just make sure crayons, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Right. So Marines ate crayons. Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Is that more socially acceptable for the group? Okay.
I thought I heard crown. I'm like, well, I know they drink crown.
Yeah, I never did, but yeah, I don't know. So Marines eat crayons. The Army can't survive without Marines. Navy's asses get gaped. I'm sure you can't. So, sorry, just history's history. Like you never could.
Honestly, the Navy can't exist without Marines. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, no, the Navy actually has a legit argument on that because...
And so could the Army. I'm just being a dick. So the reason why the Navy can do without us is because you can just fight from the water. So
it's ineffective. You need the Marines.
Well, hold on. Time out.
Depends on the mission.
Time out.
Okay.
Weren't the Marines originally intended as naval security against mutinies in borders?
Yes.
And to secure hostile ports?
So in 2009, a thing circulated around the Marine Corps, and I signed it and got shit on for it because to me there was no point. Why don't we just become U.S. Naval Infantry? That way I can get a better gun through better funding.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they have to legitimately split the pot with us.
Oh yeah, no. They hold the Marine Corps back on budget.
this
Like-
is a legitimate gripe that I have as a former Navy person. I took care of my Marines and they took care of me
Mm-hmm.
all the time, every fucking day. Yes, they were shitheads. Yes, they were stupid sometimes. But you know what? They had my back, I had their back, and they got taken care of.
Well, everybody in the military, minus the Air Force, has each other's back. That's just been proven throughout time.
Well, the Air
If
Force
Air
has got
Force,
everybody's back. It's just got a dick involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Well-
Air Force has strayed heavily from what it once was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It needs
They-
to become part of the Army once more, the Army Air Corps.
But
actually,
who get-
actually, I would say the Air Force itself just needs to be split into 3 sub branches.
Thank you.
No.
No,
Yes,
it
because the
it
Air
needs to
Force
be
controls space.
it needs to be split between the Space Force, the Navy, and the Army.
Well, they've already split it with the Space Force, which is a fucking joke.
Well, no, the Space Force needs
Space
to command.
Force
The Space Force needs to
Sorry.
command all aerospace combat assets.
and Space
The
Force is
Army
its own
needs to be the
branch.
one controlling the ground security elements, and the Navy needs to be controlling the electronic warfare elements.
But Space Force is its own branch, I believe.
It is.
It is.
It is now. It is
The-
now, and it was created by Trump. And
The thing is, Space Force doesn't have a major mission.
no, it is more of a CIA for space.
Operative,
Yeah.
yeah. I just
Which
wanna
is why
shoot
I
one of
say
the-
they need to be the ones in control of all combat aerospace assets.
Mm-hmm.
I
Get-
just want to play with a phaser gun.
Well, give the Army the transport aircraft. Give the Navy the electronic warfare aircraft. Give the Space Force the combat aircraft. And as far as their ground facilities, they either go to the Navy or they go to the Air Force, depending on where they're located at geographically.
I have a
Okay.
better solution.
I got one.
Make it all one.
Yeah.
Make it all one.
Well, here's
Get rid of the
thing.
multiple branches.
Yes.
Yeah, but that
make
wouldn't
it
work.
one.
It really
yes,
wouldn't
it
work.
would.
No,
Yes,
Not
it
really.
would.
wouldn't work.
You would have sub branches within the defense. They would just be the defense. That's it.
No, but the biggest issue you're going to get with this whole thing is the mentality of other military entities. That's what you're going to
Yeah.
get. A U.S. Air Force is not going to go to a Marine Corps base and be like, fuck yeah, I'll be a rifleman. Same thing with the Army, because that's what we're trained to be first and foremost. I say we all just become part of Space Force. Because nothing would make me prouder, okay, than to walk around town and say, I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Okay, JMO, I'm going to see if I can find this image real quick.
You're just
Because
being
honestly-
a dick now, man.
Because honestly, hang on. What I'm about to show you is what I suspect the Space Force uniform will eventually look like. And I think
put
it-
in ditchy
Um,
And I think it's a fucking joke.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nothing.
And
was
what I'm about to
worse.
show you is half of a joke.
Yeah, it's gonna have a Starfleet uniform, but anyway.
Well, here's the big issue. The two worst uniforms I've ever seen was when
No,
the
it's not a
Army-
star. No, what I'm about to show you is even worse than that.
Hold on.
God.
Oh, great.
It can't be worse than the U.S. Navy's in their 2010 switchover. It can't be worse.
Oh, the
You're gonna-
Digis?
Oh my
God,
god,
those were
dude, blue,
fucking
white,
stupid.
and black. Oh, it's so we can see you in water. Water? What?
Yeah. That was dumb as
You're better
fuck.
off being in your dress whites and being
Yeah,
seen
that-
in water.
That was worse than when the
And you
US
had better
Army-
buoyancy, by the way.
Yeah, but that was worse than when the U.S. Army had those gray camis for the longest time. Like, what the fuck are you blending into? Exactly, fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Gray camis. Oh, the fucking ACUs. Yeah.
Yeah, those
No,
are-
you stand out like a sore thumb.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
those
matter
things
where
glowed
you
in the
are.
fucking dark.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is,
Oh,
the
I
only
hated I
reason-
hated the ACUs. Those things glowed in the dark. They
Oh, yeah.
didn't do a damn bit of good.
But the funny part is, do you guys actually know the real reason why Marines even got Digicam? It's because the Army refused them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was not so much that it refused it. It was political insiders who finagled
It was a little
Yeah,
bit of
that
both.
too.
the Army's bid, and again, the Marines got an Army reject or hand me down.
Yep.
But it was
But-
actually beneficial
Okay,
for you guys in this case.
Tommy,
Mhm.
I'm about to share screen of an image as soon
Okay.
as I find the right one. This is what I suspect they want to make the Space Force uniform look like.
I would not be surprised.
Looks like
Oh,
a
that's
French
awesome.
fucking fop.
But
Well, you know, and
There-
that's
can we all agree that that would be the stupidest thing that could happen? And because the Space
Mhm.
Force is kind of a joke right now, that's probably what they're going to do.
yeah.
Well, actually, there is some practicality to that because in space, you don't want to use a projectile weapon. So a pointy weapon,
Well, that's
Would
just a
be-
swagger stick that the character was shown carrying.
well, sure, but we're talking a cutlass or something like that.
Meet my giant longsword, 9 mil.
Yeah, here's my
Okay,
Texas
yeah.
toothpick.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Tommy.
Mhm.
If you're in null gravity and you're attempting to utilize anything that uses inertia, how are you going to plant yourself?
You're not. You are going.
So, what good is a
to-
sword going to do you in null gravity?
Well, it's better than the gun, which is going to shoot you against the wall behind you.
Oh, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
And then you're going to actually punch a hole in the fuselage of your spaceship, which will suck you through when you decompress.
Well, although there's certain people that might enjoy that.
I
Well-
look at it. I look at it like this, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
I want Space Force to officially now take over because all that training I had with jump kills and Halo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for space. I think I could pull it off. You give me a gravity hammer and that crystal sword, we're done.
No,
Those
honestly,
those
J-Mo,
aren't real.
hey,
You don't
J-Mo,
know that. You don't crush my dreams.
Yeah.
hey, J-Mo,
What's up?
I don't know if you've ever watched it, but if you haven't, get Tubi and look it up. There's a weapon system on the old show Babylon 5 called a PPG.
Yeah, I've seen
It's a-
Babylon 5.
Okay, so you remember the phased plasma guns.
Yeah.
That is what they're probably working on developing. Because that is one of the few quote unquote ray guns from sci-fi that actually
Right.
has a real world physics element that they can figure out how to make it work.
All
They
right,
just
Mando,
haven't gotten the power supply to work.
Mando, so you know what's funny since you brought up that point? You played GoldenEye, right, for the N64?
Yes, and I remember the laser gun
Yep.
from Moonraker.
Yeah. Do you know what that's actually based off of?
Off the top of my head, no, but I
A
will say
19
this: I loved the movie Moonraker, so
Oh yeah,
don't
it
even.
was a good movie.
So
no,
if you
I'm-
shit on that one, I will find you.
Fight,
Moonraker-
fight.
Moonraker.
No.
First off, hold on. Moonraker was a good goddamn movie. But
Yeah.
moving on from that, the Moonraker laser itself in the video game was actually based off a World War II German prototype that fired and worked.
Mhm.
So, I
That
mean,
is interesting.
Yeah, it's fucked. So if you actually dig deep into the revelations of the guns in that game, like I know the Moonraker was one of them that was an actual previous design used by the German army. like it's fucked because you got to think back in World War II, Russia and Germany had the most scientific advances in the world than anybody else.
Okay, JMO,
What up?
kind of on the same topic, kind of not.
All right.
In GoldenEye, did you ever use the FNP90? I
Yes.
think they called it the FP90.
Oh no, you mean the RCP-90?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah,
I've actually fired the weapon that thing is based off of in real life.
yeah. I never did. I got to see
That is
pictures of it.
probably one of the most fun firearms I ever got a hold of.
You know, when I
I've
was
heard that from people who've used the P90 before.
Yeah.
Because the 5.7 round platform, it's like 5.56. You don't
Oh.
feel it, and it has very good. Its stats when it comes to ballistics are great, and because of the round itself, it is considered AP.
Yeah. And
without changing the round itself to be armor penetrating.
Well, the round itself was actually designed to defeat armor.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why it's illegal here stateside.
The biggest
5.7's
letdown.
illegal here?
Yes.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
The
you can buy civilian versions of the FNP90 here in the States,
Mm-hmm.
but the barrel has to be extended by about 8 inches, and the weapon or the weapon itself has to be rechambered for a different round type.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's
So,
fucked.
yeah. So, Saint, I don't know if you'll remember when this happened. The Marine Corps had a chance to be the test pilots for a Russian weapon.
Interesting.
And I got to use it for a little while. Well, because the whole deal was the Russian army was getting rid of it, and they had so many to get rid of. But if you guys don't know what the AN-94 is,
I remember that.
That gun,
AN-94?
AN-94. Look it up. It's a side loading. Well, how do you say it? Slant loading auto rifle. But dude,
it's a goofy looking gun, but from what I've read about it, it fires really good.
Yeah,
it still looks like an AK.
It does, but it's so if you look at the mag well, the mag is actually slightly flared, right? So instead of having to go straight up and down to reload your weapon, all you have to do is pull out and cock slightly to the side. Reloading was a breeze on that thing. So when I got to test fire it, I begged our Master Gunnery Sergeant Hayek to continue the order for him.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody, the biggest thing that comes to any weapon in the U.S. military, which pisses me off, is the ammo capability.
Mm-hmm. It has to all be 5.56 capable.
Yes.
Right.
So, but dude, when I tell you that gun had no recoil, I could hit a 400-meter target more accurately than I could with a 5.56 with that weapon.
Okay, you know in all those action films.
7.62.
Yeah.
Okay, JMO, you know in all the action films when they show a P90 being used, you'll see somebody running and firing the thing one-handed and actually hitting the target.
Yeah.
You can do that with that thing.
Oh yeah.
The way the recoil is controlled on that is incredibly creative. If you ever watch these things being fired, you do not see rounds ejecting.
No. Well, it was just
it's not a caseless weapon though.
No, it's not.
It ejects the round through the pistol grip.
Well, you look at the SMG that I think the Soviets started using. Remember when the Grau became like a world statement? GRAU.
I've heard about it, but I don't think I've seen the stats on it.
So it's a top side loading weapon. So the entire magazine slides into the top of the gun, right? And none of them are pointed forward. It's a how do you put it? It's a horizontal to front facing fully automatic weapon. So all the rounds are loaded sideways, right? Because that's just how it works to fit inside the belt. They're all loaded sideways, but imagine 900 rounds a second, but it's just repeatedly putting all these rounds straight.
Mm-hmm.
You mean 900 rounds a minute?
Yeah, there you go. 900 rounds a second. I did that one time on meth.
900
when I was
rounds
in
a minute.
when I was in Phoenix, Texas, and it was pretty good. It wasn't as cool as Missoula, Missouri, but
Okay,
it ranked up
JMO.
there.
Here's another goofy firearm for you. If you've never had a chance to fire it or seen it being fired in real life,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the military nomen for this thing. The Calico. It's a 9mm cylindrical magazine fed submachine gun.
Huh? Never seen that one.
I think Tommy's actually looking it up.
I think
no, I'm not.
Here was my biggest problem when I was in the military. It's either we got good gear or we fucking didn't. But the thing that pissed me off the most, and I don't know if anybody here has ever been on a crew serve team. So, you know what I still believe to this day is the shittiest weapon I've ever had to carry and put together and shoot? It's got to be the Mark 19. That thing was so not worth the 15-mile hike with 130 pounds on my fucking shoulder.
And I think we should probably angle away from the military stuff because I'm pretty sure the host is getting annoyed.
I'm not getting annoyed. I'm just reminding everyone.
What? What'd he say?
No, don't worry about it.
No. Here we go.
No, it's
here we go back to the military shit.
Well, whatever. I can't wait to be the next Space Force Marine.
Marine.
So Tommy, Tommy, you're the host. Where do you want to take this?
Actually, this is all great, guys. Oh, what the hell was that? Oh, Jesus Christ! I think I watched too much Rhino shit. I got faggy. Ugh, sorry.
Hang on, Tommy. With what you were doing with your hand and what you just did, you've made the mistake of watching Has Been Hotel, haven't you?
Yes. Well, no, I haven't actually. I haven't watched any of that. I've got Prime, but I have not watched that at all.
Do not watch that shit.
Mm.
Tommy, do not watch that shit. You will
See,
JMO
now,
on us.
I really enjoy the previous one that Jackal hates.
Jackal hates everything.
That's a long list. You got to specify.
So, Has Been Hotel is the whole fucking bullshit. What do we call it?
You got to specify more than that, man.
The woke crap. But the previous one, which is fuck. What the hell is the name of that thing?
Well, that's what we're trying to get out of you, man.
I really enjoy it. In fact, Styx Hexenhammer really enjoys it too. Jackal, fucking wake up, you stupid bitch.
Well, right now he's hunting, so.
Yeah, he's playing stupid shit.
He's not doing what he should be at 21, which is hunting pussy.
Well, we'll just do this. That'll get his attention.
You know what, gentlemen? I'm going to go ahead and duck out.
All right, man.
All right.
You all have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
Try not to go too terribly crazy, Tommy.
Oh, no. God, no.
Tommy wants to hear more about my Marines.
Marines. God.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Try not to let JMO over talk him.
Only so much I can do.
Sean likes it when I talk, man.
Well, I can shut JMO down. It's no problem.
But you all have a good one. I might see you later, might not.
All right,
man.
All right, take it easy.
Take care, buddy.
And may the Space Force be with you. Oh, he's already gone.
The Space
Force be with you.
You know he heard it.
I hope he did.
Oh, God. You know he did. Did you guys
That's
ever...
all right. JMO doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. And neither does Mando, actually. Did you guys
Guilty!
ever see the Space Force training videos from
Yes.
Angry Cops?
Yeah.
Wait, there's training videos.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
If
Oh,
you
dear God.
watch their combatives, it's like
Oh,
they're
it is
airbending.
fucking hilarious.
Their
Angry
combatives
Cops
looks like
just
airbending.
tore it up.
Yes. I mean, so when you were in the Army, I know they did it somewhat in the Navy and they did it in the Marines. You remember how we had to go hand-to-hand combat training?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These guys do it without touching each other. It literally
Mm.
looks like you're watching Shaolin monks who can't spell the word monk.
Oh, dear God. So, like when you're training Iraqi platoons, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing. But without the grenades and suspicious alarm clocks.
Suspicious alarm clocks.
Why are all the wires gutted?
Well, my question is, why is there wire sticking out of this alarm clock?
So one of our new HR directors, they hired him last week. He's Iraqi, right? And he was
Alright.
walking around with his boot untied. And the HR director, Rick Driver, told me, he goes, listen, don't go near JMO. He goes, there's a lot of ex-military here. He's the worst one. And
He's
this
the
is what the
worst.
new guy told me, right? So he's walking around with his boots untied. All I see is his laces going. So I went, fuck, we got a loose wire. And I dove into the middle of a double T section, barricading myself with timbers.
I know, what was his reaction?
He came up and he goes, you must be JMO.
How'd you guess?
But I looked at him and I was like, who tipped you off? And he goes, well, my name's Ali. And I was like, figures. And I'm happy he laughed because I was sitting there, I was like, hey, how quick can I get fired
Mm-hmm.
for profiling? But he goes, well, just so you know, I am Iraqi and Mexican. I was like, great, two races I can't stand.
Oh, fuck.
And he was like, but your operator.
Iraqi and Mexican?
Yeah. And he's like, but your operator's Mexican. I was like, yeah, but he's different. He's got a green card. What's your credentials?
Wow.
And he's like, I formerly went to, and he said some college, like, what's formerly mean? Is it gone now? Did you get a bad test score on your final? But no, he ended up being all right. He was an interpreter actually for the U.S. Army. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, he speaks Farsi and Kurdish.
Damn.
Good.
He's a super smart guy, but that's not going to stop me from super fucking with him.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
But he is going to be your best ally.
Oh yeah. So I walked into the HR's office because I ended up fucking up my finger, which go figure. Because anytime, it's funny, if I go barehanded, I never get hurt. The second I put on gloves, I'm a disaster.
Right.
So I go into the office, and he looks at me and, oh, hey, look, it's that guy who kind of thinks he's funny. And the HR director laughed, and I was like, hey, you look familiar to me. Weren't you on the 9/11 watch list?
Oh, damn.
Thank you for the Band-Aid. And I just walked out.
Well, they should have known better than to
right?
kind of fuck with you about that.
Well, and then Nate, the guy who's basically right underneath Driver, he texts me and he goes, listen, it was funny, but he's like, there's a reason we won't let you be HR and we keep hiring people. And I was like, he's like, you are completely incapable of just taking an insult without giving one. And I was like, that's not true. I was like, watch, we'll do an experiment. So I walk in and he goes, what's up, Jamin? I was like, fuck you, fat ass. And he goes, what was that? I was like, oh, wait, hold on. We'll try it again. So I walk in again, and he's not even responding to me. right? So I go in and I'm just standing there as he's sitting there trying to ignore me, looking at his computer. And he finally turns around and goes, I've had just about enough of you. And I said, you wouldn't say that if I came with fries and a medium drink. And then I looked at him. I was like, here's my application to HR once more. And he just looked at me and tears it right in half. And I was like, good talk, sir.
Get the fuck out of my office.
Get the fuck out of here, yeah.
Well, because so when I first applied, they went around to the entire yard, right? And they're like, what would you guys think about JMO becoming, HR stress con? Would you have a problem with that? Would you be able to listen to him when he gives you warning letters? And they're like, yeah, of course. Right? The only thing that one person said is, it's just, we just got to know not to talk shit because he just fires back immediately.
Exactly. It's
Well,
not
and
that
then-
hard to figure out.
Yeah, but then he asked for examples of what I've said in the yard.
Uh-oh.
So one of the black guys, his name is Bruce, super cool ass, gigantic Southern black dude, right? Doesn't take anything seriously. Lets everything just kind of roll off his shoulders. So when I was I was 375 pounds when I came back, but he
You
made this
fat fuck.
Yeah, but he made this joke about me being so fat. And I was like, I don't know why you're judging me. You're so black, and when you touch yourself, it's a hate crime.
Oh.
Dude, that's terrible.
Maybe. Yes. Well, NCOs have been around a little bit, so that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's why I put that up there, man. I mean, come on. I'm the shop lead. I'm not a supervisor, but I pretty much run the show in a civilian situation. And when I get these guys whining to me about stupid bullshit, and we've got this one motherfucker. These guys.
Wow.
Oh God. He's not even in my shop. He's connected to my shop through my supervisor because my supervisors run his shops. This little fucker. I had a conversation yesterday with this very short, big-titted Mexican girl who is very pregnant at the moment. And when I say pregnant, whale-like, and she has 2 more months to go. She brought up this guy. He whines about everything. He cries about everything. And when he comes into my shop to use my equipment, I fucking run him the fuck away from me as fast as I can because I am going to punch him in the throat. There will come a day this motherfucker is going to get dropped.
So, wait, are you still going, Tommy?
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Interject because I can
No,
follow up
no.
after.
No. Go ahead.
No.
I'm not trying to interrupt.
No, what I'm looking for is your interjection because I want to punch this motherfucker in the throat.
All right. So HR went around and asked a few more raises. What I say to them, right? So they go up to this Mexican. Well, he ended up getting locked up for attempted murder. His name was
Oh God.
Well, yeah, it wasn't attempted. He ended up getting manslaughter. He did kill the guy, but he looked at him and goes, "So has JMO said anything just somewhat inappropriate to you?" And he goes, "You know what? As a matter of fact, he has." And he's like, "All right, what did you say to him?" He goes, "I made a fat joke." And he goes, "Okay, so what did Jameson turn around and say to you?" And he goes, Well, he said it was low tide, and then he asked me if I was expecting family members.
That's not bad.
Right?
It's
So-
rude, but
Yeah.
Well, you know, like those what is it? Parody motivational posters, you know, sexual harassment will not be tolerated, however it will be graded.
everybody needs to set Broken Pine straight. This is not the best stream ever.
Oh no, we actually had topics. From what I understand, I showed up late to the pre-party, but from what
Yeah,
I
and we
understand, there
did.
was
We
supposed to
didn't
be
talk.
topics.
We didn't talk about any of them.
No, it's all shenanigans.
It's off
Which
the
you should
cuff.
rename the stream shenanigans.
Well, I could do that, but I like off the cuff better.
Well, off the cuff sounds, you
So-
know, a lot less prepared, which, you know, we kind of were prepared at a certain point, but
Well, so then after him, HR went up to the only real Jewish guy who works with us.
God, this is bad.
You know,
Of
and the
course.
sad part is, and this is true, I started the whole thing. So I walked up to him because he was sitting down while he was tying some rebar, and I was like, "Dude, don't sit down. Like, you just look like a lazy ass. Stand up." And his last name was what was it? It was something Steen. I'll never forget that. But I went up to him, and because he was sitting down and smoking while tying rebar. So he stands up and flicks his ash on the ground, and I said, "Funny, a lot of your relatives ended up there too."
Oh God! Oh!
And then I just walked away. But I'm pretty sure that was the deal breaker.
Yeah, I could see how that'd be a deal breaker.
Well, I mean, I don't know why he was so mad. I had family members die during the Holocaust. So what if it was a guard tower? They were still there. Shit on my family for serving.
Dude!
Yeah, that's
Jesus
all right.
Christ.
Oh man.
It's okay. I got some family members who were in the who were on the wrong side of that war. But you know what? They made it all the way over here eventually.
Right.
One of them got, you know, he got shot down. He was a Luftwaffe pilot. Good one. But then he got shot down by the Americans, turned into a POW. When he got shot down, he had like shrapnel all over his chest, given a few months to live, and he spent another 30 years
Nice.
at the hospitality of the Americans.
We're very hospitable if your skin's not brown.
Well, there is a reason why a lot, when the war was not going so well for the Germans, they were rushing to get out of the east side because they knew the Russians were coming, and they know
the
what happens
Russians
to
were
their
gonna
prisoners.
kill them.
Oh yeah. The red wave was no fucking joke coming from that
And
eastern slope.
they would not have any quarter. They were done.
It was, yep.
So I mean, you had America coming from the west slowly but surely. You had Russia hopped up on drugs, rampaging through the eastern side. It was just, it was just a matter of time before everybody was caught in the middle, and they were all going to get slaughtered anyway.
Yep.
Because I think wasn't the ceasefire officially called? Well, when the U.S. was like maybe 2 miles outside of Berlin.
No, it actually, they may have called for it, but it didn't happen until everybody met in the middle.
Right. Because I know there were photographs of Germans dropping guns, but like, you know, and that's something that kills me because, like, I talked to this, we hired this 19-year-old 2 weeks ago, and he's on the travel lift, right? And he made this comment to me, and he goes, you know, I think that, I'm trying to remember exactly how he put it so I can make my revolt. Oh, it was this. So he still believes that had Germany deployed all of its weapons, they still would have won the war.
Mm-mm.
Right? So I mean, and don't get me wrong,
I'm not sure about that.
It might have delayed it a little bit longer, maybe by a few days, but it certainly wasn't going to turn the tide in their favor. But not by casualties and ground gain. There was just no way.
Well, and they couldn't
Well,
reciprocate.
they ran out of Germans.
Yeah.
Well, they ran out of people. In Berlin, especially, it was children and elderly men.
Yeah.
That was all that was defending.
Right. Well, he's one of these Fourth Reich douchebags. He's got a swastika tattooed on him. He's one of these young dumbasses. Yeah. So, and he completely believes. Go ahead.
He deserves to get all the hell you're going to give him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And trust me, it hasn't stopped yet. So every morning I ask him if he wants my Wiener Schnitzel. And I know it's pissing him off, but I told him, I was like, but your argument makes no sense. It wouldn't even have delayed the war by a matter of days, maybe minutes, because people would have just radioed whatever you were using and we found a way to counter that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Russians kicking your asses from basically coast to coast was going to kill you otherwise. What were you guys going to do? You couldn't retreat north because you were running into British soldiers. You couldn't retreat back south because we had 4 army posts coming up that way anyway. And you couldn't retreat west. You had nowhere to go except sit and wait to die.
Broken Pine puts it succinctly. It is there was no escape.
Yeah. So, and this guy, and then he sits there and he's talking to me one time at lunch because he continuously sits next to me, which truly pisses me off. Because I'm not a white supremacist. I have my jokes, but like, I don't care. Right? But he sits there and goes, one day the Fourth Reich will rise. And I was like, not today, they won't. You guys had your chance in the 50s and 60s and fucking failed. And he goes, well, that's not true. I was like, yes, it is, dude. There is no way in hell. I don't care how much of a fascist you want to be. The Fourth Reich's never going to rise.
Mm-hmm.
Germany's militarized to a certain degree because of the war. And even that certain degree is going to wipe all of you out. So to sit there and say that had Hitler used all his weapons, I mean, maybe. If he would have actually made more Der Glocks, or in this case, the Bell, it could have changed the tide of the war had they deployed enough of them, but not to the extreme that it would have delayed the war by years. There's just no way in hell. By the time the Russians were already in Berlin and the U.S. was making their way there, the Enigma code was cracked. You couldn't send messages. I mean, yeah, sure, we had Japan to now worry about, but that was already semi under control. So you guys had nothing. You had no one to rely on.
Japan was contained.
Yeah. I mean, and even at that point, let's say you guys had changed the tide of war, right? All it would have just gone was from us retreating on the ground to bombing you from the air because you guys had no more planes left. No matter how you boil it down, Berlin was going to get leveled or conquered.
Right.
And
well, it happens to every empire-seeking nation in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always, I think, was it before Germany? The last one to try was
Persia.
Napoleon.
I thought it was Persia. I know. Wait, didn't Persia make it the furthest? Didn't they actually take the most land?
No, actually, it was Alexander the Great from Greece. He got all the way to Afghanistan. And
but I thought Persia wiped Afghanistan at a certain point, didn't they? Under Xerxes, didn't he have like 71 countries gone?
Xerxes may have done that. I don't remember the total thing. But everybody must remember that Afghanistan is the land that destroys empires.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Russia
Well,
couldn't
and
do
now us.
shit there. Yeah, and now us.
Yep. And look
The-
at what happened with ours.
Well, we gained the shitty thing about when Afghanistan repopped off was we were taking territory. It
Mhm.
was just in very, very minuscule amounts. And then the second we leave, they just take it right back over. So that
Yeah.
was the biggest pain in the ass was just the re-encampment of the enemy.
Mhm.
My
Well, it was going to
opinion. I could be
take
wrong.
it was going to take generations
Oh yeah.
of occupation to get Afghanistan to where we wanted it to be, which
Yeah.
should never have been our prerogative in the first place.
No, it shouldn't have been, and we got selfish in that regard. But anytime you ever look at America in warfare, and I'm going to sound like an asshole here, and I know I'm going to get a rebuttal. Okay, my opinion: U.S. has no right to claim World War One. We don't.
No, we
We
did
got
not
there at the
solve
end
that.
of the war. No, that was solving itself without our help. So World War II, we had no choice because that's when a lot of everybody was depending on us, mainly the French, fucking pussies.
Mm-hmm.
But when and that was also when we had that Mussolini prick in Italy who was fucking up his own people because he was working with the Germans. So a lot of shit can change the tide of war in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yep.
the biggest thing that people don't understand is like, sure, yeah, you can use coded language now, but with the amount of technology that's available right now, it'll be cracked in under 30 minutes, and we're going to know what you're saying. The Enigma code took so long because they were using 4 different languages to transmute messages. That's the
Right.
only reason why that took 4 years.
Well, and
still,
actually the encoding system took those languages and scrambled it. That
Yeah.
was the big thing. And that's where Alan Turing comes
Alan
from.
Turing cracked it.
Yeah, he cracked it, and it wasn't 4 years.
No. Oh, how long was it?
Yeah, I think it was about a year and a half.
Well, because I know
we had all of their shit within 2 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing was we fucked them when we started bringing in the Navajo.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know anything about Navajo's language, there's no. It is so strange to anything that you would understand. It's asynchronous. The language doesn't have an end or a beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, the personal, what do they call them? The personal prerogatives. So he, she, it, them, it, fuck you. There, the sentence starts and it doesn't end.
Right. Well,
Oh yeah, the structure.
The structure is
structure
fucking
was
weird.
something that they
Yeah.
could not actually. They couldn't crack it. They could have all the words, but there's no way that they would have been able to crack any of it.
The only one that is close to it and is the same problem is the Basque language.
Mm-hmm. Well, and go ahead.
Yeah, well, the Basque, of course, you guys probably don't know anything about the Basque. Basque. Those are a Spanish mountain people. And I grew up with a huge number of them in Idaho. because that was the second largest population of the Basque. They're fucking awesome. And their
So-
food is so good. Oh God. But they're separatists in Spain.
Yeah. But the main thing that I was trying to tell this kid is if you don't know history, like two things fuck Germany. And I was like, it was cracking the Enigma code and pissing off Russia. Those were your two biggest pitfalls because Hitler was just an idiot. But I was like, but you know what? I will give Germans credit because to this day, no one knows how far out they spread. And with how much steel and oil Hitler had his hands on, and the part that kills me is there's unrestricted, you're not allowed to go places in Antarctica that are contained by German soldiers.
Yep.
That this might be a conspiracy theorist. I'm waiting on St. George, but I could speculate there's probably at least a 70% chance that there is an Arctic underground base just for the Germans. Because
I'm not so sure, but because there's a lot of different things you got to account for, logistics wise, if it still exists. If they made one and eventually abandoned it, I think that is far more likeliness because as far as I know, the current outposts in our Antarctica rely heavily on outside logistics to keep them surviving.
Right.
They can't produce their own fuel. They can't produce their own food. Well, maybe in certain ways they could produce their own food, but I highly doubt it.
Right, but one of the bigger theories is that Adolf Hitler sent a frigate to Antarctica with soil and seeds. So I mean, I'm just
They
wondering.
may have tried it.
Right, but I'm just wondering, in your opinion, right? Could this be like somewhat of a Fallout video game perspective, where they built it, they hunkered down, got a minute water supply, which they can get because you're at the ocean at that point, right? And just grew up to a vegan populace, and they're just still underground waiting. I mean, granted, yes, that's really far-fetched, and it's a stupid-ass thought to have, but at a certain point in high school, I really wondered if that could be a possibility because up until the 80s, the U.S. was receiving SOS pings from German warships in the Arctic. So I'm
I
just
haven't
curious.
heard.
Right, but I'm just curious, could it be a Fallout situation or am I just reaching for the stars? If I'm reaching for the stars, tell me. But I think there could be a distinguished possibility that maybe they built it
stars
and hunkered it.
You are reaching for the stars, but that's not the issue.
It's possible, but is it plausible?
Right, and that's where I'm stuck because if you and I, if any of us were world leaders looking for a place to hide, we're better than Antarctica.
If you could make it self-sufficient.
Right. Well, I mean, granted, the frigid temperatures are going to kill any food supply.
I would think the north would be a better area because the further north you go, like say, not even North Pole, but in some of the inhospitable areas of Canada, northern Canada,
right?
You have an airstrip or a shipping lane. You have access to to the majority of the developed world, and you don't have to go left or right across an ocean. You can zigzag or go slanted, and you're anywhere within
2 hours.
Let's say currently westernized areas, which is why Alaska's got a big strategic point, and why we're a big port of call.
Right. Well,
because
Alaska,
we can. Go ahead.
No, sorry. You can. Sorry.
Yeah, because shipping lanes. If we could find a way to better create routes through the ice caps that freeze over every year, and that line keeps receding every year, to the point where I think they were expecting within 50 years. I mean, North Pole is still going to be there, but the ice cap that goes around it is not going to be so impeding to ship traffic.
Yeah.
And then you got your air traffic, which you go north and you hit Europe. You go west. I mean, you got Eastern Russia. The only other place that has easier access to the rest of Asia is Hawaii, but that's not easy access. That's very limited.
Well, the main reason why I reached for the stars on the bunker theory, I ended up getting an A on that paper, which still astounds me to this day, is it's just because of the geographical point. Like, nobody wants to go out there. Nobody has a need to go out there. So maybe it was just in my mind, but if I was that kind of dictator, where else would I want to be than somewhere that nobody else wants to be? And that was just my whole basis of the argument. Like, even if you look at Alaska, Alaska was ready for German invasions, like, to the teeth. Because, I mean, they had, I can't remember the name of the island. I've been out there. I've been inside the
No,
bunker.
it was
That was
Japanese
really cool.
invasion, not German.
Well, yeah, sorry, Japanese. But how many outposts Alaska had at one point?
They took over a tiny island
and
left.
Yeah.
They had
They made sure to mine the shit out of it, but
oh yeah,
they did do that. But because you heard of Nazis being picked up in Argentina, and a couple of them somehow hid out in Russia, which was very interesting. But my whole basis for the argument was, if you're going to do it anywhere on Earth, why not do it where just nobody wants to go? I mean, as stupid as of an idea as that is, because of the frigid temperatures, the fact there's basically no wildlife and no nature life out there. Even trees are pretty non-existent in the Arctic. But just for the sheer loneliness and rehabilitation of what you were trying to do, I thought it was a valid argument, because you're somewhere where no one's going to look. You're somewhere where no one's going to be. You had all the resources to go 100 feet and 100 miles underground, because that's what he was shipping out there. And not to mention, when they found all the steel ships that were out there, they were mostly barren and all the steel was gone. So, I mean, maybe it's just a theory, but what if they hunkered it down just good enough to keep it habitable? It doesn't take much insulation to keep you warm.
No.
Especially when you're underground, because generally closer to the core, the
because you can
warmer
rely
you're
on
gonna
the
be.
ground to be your insulator.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand the reaching for the stars point, but I thought I had a valid argument, because if there's anywhere you want to be, it's where nobody else wants to be. Because no offense,
Not saying
you
you're
and
wrong.
I wouldn't. No, and I get that,
but I can't tell you you're right.
Yeah, no, and neither can I. The only thing that we had to go off of were these SOS pings that were popping off in the area. But even then, to a degree, that could have just been bad radio frequency, especially in the 80s when satellites were fucking up left and right.
Yeah.
So,
well, everybody thought, there's a couple of Italians who picked up a Russian SOS from space, and it was considered, to be a conspiracy theory for such a long time, until finally records came out that, they sent Gagarin's buddy up to space to do it was a mission that I forget his name, but even the pilot said this is a suicide mission with the new experimental craft that they had, because they're going to try to do a spacewalk. And things went bad, and he ended up burning in the atmosphere, and radio sleuths caught the whole thing.
Right. Like, it's just like I'll always firmly believe, and just because there's just so much evidence to the contrary, Hitler escaped. I'm sorry, they didn't get him. Because if you and I were Russian soldiers, George, right, and we went down to that bunker and we caught Hitler, me and you would have decapitated him and held his head up for the whole world to see because we were the ones that got him. And there was just none of that. So it's either he escaped or he's in a Russian museum somewhere where no one's allowed to visit. There was
I don't
just
know.
Mark Felton has a pretty good episode on that.
Okay, I'll need to watch it. Send me the link in the chat.
Well, just do a search for Mark Felton.
Okay, I'll just type in Mark Felton Hitler. I'm sure it'll bring it up.
Yeah, Mark Felton, Felton. He does a really good breakdown
let me
on
ask
the
you,
aftermath and the lead up to it.
Well, let me ask you, Tom. I'll even throw George into this one too. Jackal's kind of been silent playing his game. Do you think he escaped? To me personally, I think yes.
Who? Hitler was gay?
No, that Hitler escaped.
Oh, no, I don't believe he did. I think he killed himself along with Eva Braun.
What about all the pictures of him with monks 20 years later? Pictures of him taken in Argentina 30 years later.
There was Nazi officers. There was Nazi officers that did escape to Argentina. He was not one of them.
Yeah, I can't say with any certainty.
Okay.
That I agree with you on that part.
Most of the ones
only
that
because I
escaped
don't have
to
enough
Argentina,
evidence.
And most of the ones that escaped to Argentina were minor.
Right, but all the bone structures and everything they found in the bunker, the only one that was confirmed male was Hitler's son. He was the only confirmed male in that bunker.
There was no son.
Yes, there was.
No, there wasn't. Hitler never fucking reproduced.
Yes, what?
Yeah, I thought he had a... No, he does have a son, but he's in the U.S. now. Or at least a surviving one.
No, Hitler never reproduced. He has relatives from the line.
Hitler had, I believe, 5 children.
No.
Because Eva Braun and his daughter and one of his sons took the cyanide.
No.
The only confirmed male was a child in the bunker. That was proven. Okay.
No. Hitler never fucking produced children.
Okay, so it looks like the official word is he did not, but somebody of his stature has illegitimate children somewhere.
There may be, but
But confirmed, yes.
He never confirmed any reproduction. In fact,
William Patrick Hitler, son of Adolf Hitler, was found inside the bunker after Berlin strike, was 9 years old, confirmed dead by cyanide poisoning. I'm literally reading it right now.
I can understand that, but it wasn't his kid. This is one of the things you guys got to realize. He was a completely, terribly genetically compromised individual.
No, and he was, but he had kids with a French woman.
No, he didn't. He didn't have one nut.
In 1917, he impregnated a French woman.
Okay. That might be plausible.
So he was capable of reproducing later on in life, like more towards World War II. I don't know, because I think by that time he was well into his 40s.
Well,
but
all
or
men,
maybe it was Eva Braun's kid, and that was a stepkid from a marriage. I don't know.
Right. All men can reproduce as long as they've got viable testicles. It doesn't matter how many they have, whether one or two. All men can do that,
Right.
and they
But-
can do it into their 100 plus years.
Right. But
That's not
according, because
that's
just
not going to be the problem. The thing
Right.
is, he had serious fucking health issues.
oh, he did. He had to live on methamphetamine to survive.
Well,
Everybody
he
knows
was
that.
given methamphetamines by his doctor. World War II in real time really chronicles it very well.
Oh yeah.
The dude was he was hopped up.
But like my only argument was that a Russian dossier that was released to the U.S. 2 days later confirmed there was no adult male found in that bunker. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
So, which brings the question: one, did he escape, or is he in a Russian museum right now? Because according to the Russians and the U.S. soldiers who investigated, there was no adult male in that bunker.
There was no adult males in that bunker, but they found the bodies in the courtyard. That's where the kicker is. And that's where the Russians failed on their documentation.
Okay.
This is where we're seeing the disconnect.
Right.
That's
Okay.
where I
Well-
tell you to listen to the Mark Felton episode.
I'll listen to it.
Yeah. I'm not
All right.
saying it's
My bad.
perfect or it's the cat's what
Right.
do they call it? The cat's whiskers
Cat's
or whatever.
pajamas.
The cat's pajamas or whatever it is.
It's just there was so much evidence leaning both ways
Mm-hmm.
that it made it complicated because then you had that show that came out. What was that stupid one? The Hunting Hitler,
Mm-hmm.
where a monk who are supposed to, and I say this with air quotes, not supposed to ever lie, claimed that he had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with Adolf Hitler in his village for 20 years every day,
Mm-hmm.
as Hitler was repenting the sins that he made. So, I mean,
Right.
could it be complete bullshit? Absolutely.
Of course.
I mean, everything comes down to the source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was that other famous fucking guy that disappeared and then he reappeared all of a sudden? He was gone for like 20 some odd years too. So I'm just saying, like, weird anomalies can happen. Do what? I think
yeah.
he made it. I think he made it out. Granted, he might not have made it very far because he had nowhere to go. But the problem is they only explored 20% of that bunker, and they said there were tunnels leading everywhere for miles.
Sure.
So could he have cyanided just the wife and her two kids, and maybe left a look-alike? That's entirely possible. The biggest issue that everybody had was there was no adult male body found.
Right. Right.
So maybe he made it out and came out through the courtyard, got seen, and got killed. But I mean, it all just depends on how far the bunker expanded. Did they actually even officially clear the whole bunker?
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay.
They eventually did, and they collapsed most of the tunnels.
But wasn't it like 27 miles worth of tunnels?
Very possibly. I don't remember the exact number.
Jesus.
Max Felton had a lot of really good information on that.
Because I know I read a story, I think it was in 2007. I know you most likely read this one too. You have to remind me the country where that guy was standing in his backyard. It was somewhere in Europe, but he was standing in his backyard and saw a weird hatch sitting over by a garden, and that led to an underground Nazi bunker.
Well, that happens pretty regular, actually. That still happens.
But that's right, but that's scary as fuck. So imagine if all that was just connected to a longer canal of ways Hitler could have made it out. I don't know, but here's the thing, and this is where I get stuck, because could he have made it out? Sure. But without his medication and without everything that he needed just to wake up in the morning, it's either he didn't make it very far or he took enough provisions with him to survive a 3-day trip.
Right.
which is pretty impossible considering methamphetamine was given to you through ounce bottles. There's no way that's going to survive someone running and climbing ladders.
No. Well, and he could have survived the withdrawals from it because he didn't need the methamphetamines. No one needs methamphetamines.
Right, and no one needs that. But without methadone, because they were still giving out methadone in the 40s, he wouldn't survive the withdrawals without that. He would go into heart failure because the adrenaline would be too much.
Yeah, and he was already completely compromised health-wise, whether it be from the methadone or, and yeah, shit, man, they gave him everything.
Yeah, they gave him everything under the sun to get him to wake up. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe him escaping just doesn't hold any water unless he managed to escape the grasp of all the allies. But even then, with all directions covered, there's only so far he could go unless he sat and waiting for his opportunity to go out. But then that wouldn't make sense.
Right, that doesn't make sense either. Yes. The only real option for laying this to rest is literally he and Eva Braun shot themselves, or well, he shot Eva Braun and he shot himself, and took the cyanide pill, and then what the hell was it? I can't remember the title, but his secretary drugged the bodies out, dug a pit, and set them afire. That really is the only.
Okay.
I thought that the official explanation is they tried to, after the suicide, tried to destroy the bodies. But
yes, that's what I'm talking about. The secretary took them out, and when I say secretary, it was Borman, I believe.
Yeah, Houston Borman.
Yes, he dragged the bodies out, set them on fire in a pit, and then covered them. In other words, tried to give them a somewhat,
decent burial.
Yeah,
decent burial, but it's a very shallow grave that he put them in.
Yeah,
it wasn't
all
6
right,
feet
so
deep.
I'll probably lean more towards he was in the bunker. They just couldn't find the body.
It's all so muddy. It doesn't matter, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's either and who knows? Knowing this government, he's probably in the fucking National Geographic Museum somewhere in Washington.
Yeah,
he's just in this section you're not allowed to visit.
All right, so here, if you really want to fuck with your life, I mean, really, really fuck with your life. Are you at all understanding of the Banderas?
The what?
No.
The comics from France.
The
no,
Banderas,
I'm not.
it's and Tommy, you can correct me if I say this, but the way I understood it when I heard about them, they basically take world events, but twist them in such a way
to tell a story.
Even the impossible is probable.
So
so kind of like a what if series.
Yeah, they're comic books. They're graphic novels.
They're really good reads.
They're so fucking good.
They actually make you dig down deep in your brain and think.
So where I'm going with this, let me finish this. Where I'm going with this, look up Requiem.
I've read it.
Yeah. Who was one of the juggernauts in Requiem?
Hitler.
Yep.
So,
and what were the juggernauts? What were the juggernauts in Requiem?
Fuck. They were
living souls put in stasis.
There you go. Yeah, living souls put in stasis to be reanimated on bodies.
The rulers of Requiem were the fucking vampires. Hell's people.
Yes.
They were demons. they had juggernauts who were living souls put in stasis.
Yeah.
I think it was.
It's funny because that's the basis of a supernatural episode.
Uh-huh. That's where it came from, dude. They're really good. The
Okay.
Requiem is really good.
Yeah, you got to read them. They're good reads.
They're fucking disturbing as hell, but they're really good.
So, but no, Requiem was actually the reason why I started thinking the escape was more plausible rather than
Mhm.
impossible.
Right.
Because at the time of his death, Adolf Hitler had already assigned 30,000 lookalikes.
Mhm.
How many?
30,000.
Mhm.
That
It's
seems
pretty easy to do with that mustache.
Yeah, it seems a bit
Well,
high, right?
I
But
think
that
it's
was
a
their
bit excessive,
for
even
Mhm.
for as a conspiracy theory. But then again, you guys know a little bit more about that subject than I do.
Hold on. How many Hitler body doubles?
What the hell is the name of the
Because
comics?
they had a confirmed. Okay, so that. All right, so check this out, and I was wrong, George. So thank you, because I had to relook it up. So check this out.
Mhm.
So he had 12 lookalikes. 4 of them even had the same dental imprint as him.
Mhm. They actually fixed their teeth.
Oh, so they
So
altered his teeth to make so
Yes.
that they could be
yes,
identified as Hitler
This
in
this
dental
is a
records.
yes,
this is a
that
historical fact. They did.
that's why his escape could be more plausible
Yeah,
because
because DNA was not
around.
applicable enough yet.
No.
Well, they didn't even know what DNA was
Yeah.
at that time.
So you
I
could
thought
be like,
they
No.
knew enough.
no,
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
they still ran off dental records. So
Yep.
I could take a burnt up skull, open the jawline, bite it down on something, and take a similar mark that Adolf Hitler had at like a dental exam because they had X-rays then. Shitty, but they had them, and all you have to do is line up the teeth and be like, "Bam, that's him." But it could have very easily been a guy whose
Yeah.
teeth were, yeah,
And I'm sure forensics wasn't taken seriously enough that most people would just sit there and go, "Oh, the records look like what we have in our intelligentsia, so we're going to say it is."
yeah.
Well, and remember they were trying to resolve everything as fast as possible.
Oh yeah, like it was a quick
Mm.
investigation by the Russians and the Americans because they just wanted to go home.
Their thing was
They
he's
already had it
dead.
big enough.
He's
Right.
dead. We've got this. We're taking over now. That was the whole thing.
Because I think the only confirmed leader that was confirmed dead without a body double was Joseph Stalin.
Well,
Because
no,
he was-
Stalin died in 1953.
Yeah,
And when he
they-
died, that was a wild one. That's another Max Felton episode.
yeah, that was a time of
Well,
celebration.
What is
and
it?
remorse.
The parody movie of that Stalin's death or the death of
Yeah,
Stalin.
that movie's funny as fuck.
Well, the big thing with Stalin is everybody was so fucking scared of him. They would not try to treat him because they would be prosecuted if they fucked up.
Yeah,
That was the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, when Stalin took over the ranks as well, I could be wrong here, but I don't think he ever officially became czar till like the end of his life.
There was no czar.
Yeah, there wasn't one, but when he killed him, so the biggest thing,
Oh, he wasn't even. Oh, he was there for the Bolshevik Revolution, but he
Yeah,
He
was
was
a thug.
part of it.
well,
Yes.
he killed Bolshevik.
Yes, he destroyed the Bolsheviks because they were the useful idiots.
Right. So the biggest thing that all Russians hated about Stalin is Stalin was the first one to realize I can just continuously throw bodies and eventually they'll be overwhelmed. You know, it was
Well,
when you send 22 million people out there and only 10 million have a weapon, it becomes a numbers game because eventually someone's going to run out of ammo.
Yeah, I remember that because they would go in waves where there's people who are armed in front. When they fall down, there's somebody unarmed behind them to pick up their kit
mhm.
With
and
the
continue
spare
mission.
ammo.
That's
And then there's
bullshit, by
waves.
the way.
Is it?
That's what?
Yep, that's bullshit.
That was No, that's
No,
that's
that's
not bullshit.
bullshit. That is bullshit.
I
What
had
you're
Russian
talking about is enemy at the gates, where they would give a rifle to one man, they would give a loaded magazine to the next, and then they had a guy with food that would follow behind them.
No, that was documented proof. That was just a movie, but that's literally how
No,
the war was for them at the beginning.
it may have happened for a very, very, very short amount of time, like 3 or 4 days. Mostly because they hadn't got the arms to the front, and they were just trying to block up and stop the advance.
Right.
It was, if you listen, or actually, if you don't listen to them because they're all full of bullshit, read the histories. Yes, this happened for a very, very short time. They took them off the trains, they gave them a rifle, the next guy got a magazine, the next guy got some food.
Because when I read Vasily Zaitsev's book, he said it was like that for the first 6-7 months of the war because they
I
were being
can't
slaughtered.
I cannot believe it. Well, they got slaughtered because they were totally untrained. Every goddamn one of them had no training whatsoever. They took a bunch of peasants and they put them in a fucking war zone against the Wehrmacht. The Wehrmacht, not the Wehrmacht, the Wehrmacht was the biggest fucking threat to the world if they had had the numbers. And they were so well trained. But like all Germans, they overthought it. Have you guys ever worked on a Mercedes or a Volkswagen? Huh? Have you ever worked on a car?
Talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to all of you.
Yeah, I've worked on a car.
Okay. You ever worked
Sorry,
on a
stepped out for a
Volkswagen?
moment.
You ever worked on a Volkswagen or a fucking Mercedes?
I had a turbo Volkswagen Beetle for a while.
Okay, you know how stupid it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same problem the Germans fell victim to. Everything is overcomplicated.
Well, what I love about the Volkswagen Beetle is Adolf Hitler actually designed the body. That's what I still think is astoundingly funny to this day.
He signed off on it.
Wow.
That was
What?
the Volkswagen, which was the
Yeah.
family car. But have you ever tried to work on one of those pieces of shit?
You have to lift the engine out to do anything.
Well, that, and they're so stupid, simple crap, but they're so convoluted that you can't figure it. I have never, ever been able to get one of those things to run right. I hate them fucking things.
You hate what?
I hate Volkswagens.
And Jackal. He did say Jackal.
No, I don't hate Jackal. Jackal's
He
my
said
buddy.
it, Jackal.
Jackal's my little guy. I would like to cuddle him.
All right.
Well, Jackal's leaving Gilded tonight.
You know, I probably should get rid of this Gilded uninstall.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Nah, Jackal's cool. I'm just giving him shit.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
wanted to kidnap him to Colombia.
Oh, we will go to Colombia.
no, I'm good. I've got enough problems with attracting the wrong types of girls over here.
Dude, you sent me that video of the girls on the horses, and I hate you because that's all I see in my shorts now.
So-
Well, yeah, that's kind of
Oh my
like
god,
that's kind of like
Jackal, you
the
sounded like the what you would call it,
Joker.
the Martians.
The Wicked Witch of the West
Oh,
is what I
from
was
Mars
thinking.
No, the Martians
Mars
from
Attacks.
when Mars attacks. Ack, 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 ack.
I will say this, guys. Those chicks are hot.
But-
Riding horses with their big old boobies. You all realize that they're only about 4.5 feet tall. The chicks.
they're very, very, very short.
Well, aren't they supposed to be short as riders? Because
No.
Jockeys,
No, these are rodeo type stuff, not horse racing.
Oh,
They're not jockeys. They're just
but
chicks riding horses.
Jackal, that's what your 20s are for, is to attract the wrong girl. Your 20s are meant to be fun.
I'm not.
That's the height of your life.
I've inherited my dad's luck with women, which means that they're. I know that I'm gonna get shit for this, so go ahead and bring it on after I'm done saying this. They're gonna be older than me. They're gonna be tatted up, piercings, and crazy.
Okay, what's wrong with tatted women?
I don't.
And don't
like
give
tatted
me
women.
the shit Pop says. Just what's your thing about tatted women?
Tatted women tend to be.
No, they don't. I've heard Pop's
Yes,
crap.
they do.
I just don't care. I don't care. I
Trust
sense
me, I've
they're-
dealt with them.
there is
and so have I.
there's likeliness, but it's not prevalent universally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here you go, guys. Here's the thing. My girlfriend, who was a fiance at one time in Colombia, who I talked to tonight, has a full Brahma tattoo on her back. Covers her whole back.
Okay.
So when I say tendencies with the tattoos are not a decider, but she's a crazy bitch and I love her anyway.
Okay. Quit dating crazy bitches.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I've known women who just like getting tattoos.
Well, yeah. Well, tattooing is kind of an addiction.
It is.
Everybody that I know that has any kind of number of tattoos, they just want another one. They want another one.
Mhm.
They want another one.
The only thing that's stopping me right now is the money.
Yeah.
Tattooing
I think
is a
in
very expensive
Colombia,
habit.
well, I think in Colombia it's not that expensive. I don't know.
Well,
But I would
that's
be
when
worried
you're-
about hepatitis.
Yeah. So
Seems like a legitimate concern.
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you've got a needle punching your skin and it's not clean and the ink isn't clean, it's a valid concern.
Wait, so am I the only one in the party right now who's tatted out?
I don't
Yep.
have any.
I don't have any.
Yep, I don't have any either.
That's right. Mine are
I
stupid
at
ass
some
tattoos.
point wanted a career in intelligence, and I thought
Oh,
having
fair
tattoos
enough.
would be a bad idea for
Mhm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit.
So-
Next one I'm getting done on my hands. So I'm getting Leatherface on the left hand and Ghostface on my right.
See, and I have a problem with the visible tattoos.
So does that mean you wouldn't approve if I had fuck on one hand and then you on the other hand?
Well, yeah.
I'd laugh.
That's
I
the
mean,
whole
it's
point
funny.
of getting.
It's funny, and I understand why. But if you go into a business relationship with somebody and you walk in there and you try to shake their hand and you say "fuck you,"
It's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
illegal to
that's
discriminate over tattoos now.
I know it is, but
I can also wear gloves and just
Yeah.
say that it's like a phobia thing.
or a skin condition that you don't want to expose them
Yes,
to.
and you guys
whatever it may
already
be.
know that I wear latex gloves whenever
I
I'm
don't masturbate
on the
barehanded.
computer.
That's for amateurs.
Well, yeah.
Well, I
Jackal-
mean,
Jackal,
yeah,
go
you're
tell
right.
us about your latex glove fetish.
It's
But no,
because I don't want sweat on my mouse.
The
Hmm.
biggest thing that I did when I got tattooed is I just wanted to get stupid tattoos that I liked. So like, well, you guys have seen some of them. Like, I got Deadpool. I got something my kid drew. I have Infidel on my right forearm.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Borderlands logo. I got Rick and Morty, Bender, the Professor. I got Fry. Oh God, Master Shake, Brack, Pinky and the Brain, Frylock, and Pickle Rick. So
Pickle
I
You
Rick.
mean,
don't, Pickle Rick. You don't
Well-
have Invader Zim on there, do you?
no.
Damn.
Don't get me wrong, because there was a point where I would have gotten a tattoo if I could have afforded it. I have a mole
On your penis?
on my arm where I'm pointing.
Oh,
It's an equilateral triangle.
Huh.
So there's 3 points. I was thinking I wanted the dark side of the moon prism,
Ooh,
which would have been pretty cool.
oh, you were gonna go with the Who?
Yeah, but I couldn't afford it, and I kind of lost interest after I
Well-
turned 18 when I could afford it. So
Well, I mean, the thing with tattooing, it's weird. So it became more expensive, but less expensive to a certain degree.
mhm.
So when I first turned 18, if I wanted to get sleeved out, that was like an $8,000 chore.
Right.
Now I can get my arm blacked out around all the shapes for like $500,
Right.
and then start the space thing that I'm gonna do. But it's the time consumption of getting your arm blacked out.
Mhm.
That's a gigantic pain in the ass. And they charge you. So the shitty thing when you get your arm blacked out, and I learned this from a couple of guys who have done it, right? You want to do it as close to the same time as possible. So it's like you go in for one session a day and you make sure you go right back in for the next one.
Right.
That way it all heals evenly. There's only a few spots they have to hit, and then you're done. He said if you get half your arm done and you go in 2 months later, it's all going to look like shit.
Yep.
Hmm.
It causes scarring, is what it does.
Well, the big thing is scarring, but the big thing is the fading.
Mhm. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm gonna get my hands done. But I haven't directly decided what I want to get. Maybe I'll get the Boogeyman from fucking Nightmare Before Christmas. Still one of my favorite movies.
Hey, Jackal, that guy said, "Miss me, bitch."
Nah, he did.
But,
He got shot so hard that he did a backflip.
No, I could have said that. I saw the bubble. It said, "Miss me, bitch."
but
Are you
like,
sure that's just the floaters in your eye, your old man?
And why are you collecting
Oh.
poisonous hemlock?
This is cotton.
oh, so now
Bullshit.
you're racist.
It looks like fucking poison hemlock.
Down by the river. Massa got me working.
God damn it.
But
You guys are sick. I love
but
it.
no, if you've ever, well, Jackal's never been in the military, but if you only knew the degree of stupidity that people get tattooed on them, like even discounting what I have tattooed on me,
Oh, yeah.
I've seen guys get. There was one Marine I know. I'll never forget him. Fucking Lance Corporal Jacobs. He got a gigantic gremlin tattooed where the ears go up to his nipples, and he pierced his nipples to make it look like the gremlin's ears are pierced.
Oh,
What in the
what
ever living
fuck?
hell?
Oh,
Dude, like
God.
that's how creative people will get. So in 2010, they changed the military reg, right, to where you couldn't have any tattoos showing past your PT gear. That was like a rule in the military. Where they fucked
Yeah.
up was when they told us that you'll only get one article per tattoo.
Mm.
So we had, dude, I had privates leaving for a weekend, get completely sleeved out, and then come back. They can't demote you for it. All they can give you is an article for it.
For
So
one tattoo, yes.
But here's the thing: it wasn't just one tattoo.
I know.
So it was per session. So if they went in and got double sleeved in a 10-hour session, that was completely allowed. That was only one write up. They just weren't allowed to add to it.
I'm surprised they didn't force it to be removed as well at the soldiers or the Marines' cost.
Yeah, they can, but at a certain degree, that's I mean, I get the argument that that's dismantling government property, and that's always valid. But at the same time, there's a point when just disobeying an order and then having to mutilate your own skin twice takes a big toll, because then that's lawsuits against the military.
Well, yeah. What is it? You are property, therefore you destroy government property by damaging yourself. The same thing was told to us about getting sunburns when I was stationed in Georgia. If you went out to like Myrtle Beach and you came back all sunburned up and could not return to duty, you were given an Article 15.
Yeah. So, I mean,
or we call them Article 15s. I don't know what the Marines or the
NJP.
Navy calls them.
No, it would have been an Article 15. And Article 15 is bringing a action against you under the UCMJ. That's what the Article 15 is. However it goes,
I just wasn't sure if that was ever service dependent or if that was military wide.
Marines have NJPs.
Yep.
Non-judiciary processes.
Well, yeah, we all have that. But everything is under the NJP, the not the NJP,
Uniform Code of
Non-Judicial
Military
Punishment.
Uniform, yes, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Everything is the same across all branches, including the Space Force.
Right. The thing that pisses me off the most, and I've said this to people on active duty, and I don't give a fuck. Well, I get it if you're a SEAL or Special Forces or something, and your identity is everything. But here's the thing: these little motherfuckers, and I have a beard now, and it's cool because I'm also a civilian. Shave your fucking face. Don't sit there and fucking say you're Viking lineage. Like, get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. Shave your stupid.
Sean, you and I
fucking
need to
face.
start braiding our beards.
No.
No.
Mine's gonna get shaven off tomorrow.
I pissed off this dude so bad.
Oh,
on
you're gonna
TikTok.
shave it all again?
Yep. It's gone. I'm tired of it.
But no, I pissed off this dude so bad on TikTok, he reported me, and now I'm on a 30-day ban.
Oh,
what did you do?
I called him a pussy. I called him a waste of military money, a waste of training. I was like, dude, just shave your fucking face. Like, we all had to do it. Now, granted, we weren't all pussies like you, and that's fine. Dude, like, I left a paragraph on this motherfucker's picture. But the best part is I had 412,000 likes before I was reported and it was taken down.
Point made. Fuck that guy.
Point made, point backed up.
I'm sorry, like, I had to shave my face. I got bumps. You can fucking do it too. Don't sit here and say because your mother was in the freak show you're allowed to grow your fucking beard. Like, no, go fuck yourself. Shave your dumb fucking face. This is the military. It's not cosplay.
Yep. No, that makes as much sense as a guy wearing a garter belt just because his mother had to in the horror house, and he's trying to explain that he's not gay by wearing that.
Oh, dude, there was a guy.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt everybody now because I need to make a point, and we cannot do that on this stream. So I'm going to end the stream. And the rest of this will be in the back house. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, back house
all right.
bathhouse?
We want to open it up to others?
The bathhouse.
Well, yeah. Go ahead and spam out the back room.
Get fucking
the bathhouse.
The back room.
Call it the bathhouse. That's funny.
Get fucking
Oh,
get
I'm not mod on your channel. I can't do that in chat. I'll do it as you.
No, do it. Yeah, that's fine. Do it.
get Broken Pine in there.
Oh yeah.
That guy's awesome.
All right. I'm ending the stream, gentlemen.